The Indianapolis Colts are traveling to Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Vikings during Sunday Night Football. So coming up on today's show, a full in-depth preview of the Vikings taking on the Colts. And a bit of a shocker, this is the early spread for today, for Sunday night's game. The Vikings are actually favored by 6.5 points. They got the total over-under set at 45.5. Originally, I thought the spread was going to probably be around 4 or 5, but it looks like the bookmakers out west have a little faith in our Minnesota Vikings. So if you guys want the Vikes to beat the Colts this Sunday night, hit that thumbs up icon, drop a like on today's show. There's nothing more that would make me happier than the Vikings hopping back in that win column and ending that 2-game losing streak. So if you guys want the Vikes to win, hit that thumbs up icon. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 likes on today's show. So what are we going to be talking about on today's show? So first, we're going to be deep diving into the Indianapolis Colts, talking about their QB controversy right now. Will it be Joe Flacco? Will it be Anthony Richardson? What has led them to this 4-4 record? And we do have injury news. Blake Cashman, T.J. Hockenson, they should be in the lineup this weekend. Also got keys to victory and my score prediction at the tail half of today's show. But first off, I do want to get this out there. My biggest concern heading into this matchup with the Colts is another elite offensive mind killing the Vikings defense. Now, I think Flores has done a great job, especially during the first 5 weeks, but we definitely saw him struggle over the last two, going against Ben Johnson and Sean McVay. Now, the Colts, they have an elite offensive mind. Shane Steichen, I think he's the most underrated head coach in the National Football League. He did wonders for Jalen Hurts when he was there in Philadelphia, and maybe he hasn't been able to unlock Anthony Richardson just yet, but the Colts have a good offense. This is how the Colts' schedule is shaken out so far. So they are coming into this game with a 4-4 record, and they caught a big-time win week 3 against the Chicago Bears after starting off 0-2, losing to the Texans and the Packers. Then they also beat the Steelers in week 4, lost to the Jaguars in a shootout 37-34, but then the Titans, they ended up getting a win, same with against the Dolphins in week 7. And this past week, they really struggled to move the football against the Houston Texans, and a big reason of that was because of Anthony Richardson. Now, he is the most entertaining and polarizing player I've ever seen play in the NFL. Like, his completion percentage is 44.4. That is one of the worst of all time. But he is a big play threat. Like, I feel like every single time watching him play, it's either a deep shot over the top of the defense or he's just taking off and trying to make stuff happen, but he can't complete the simple throws. He's just not there yet in his NFL career. And a lot of people were saying, could they go the Flacco? Could he be the starting quarterback for the Colts? Well, Shane Steichen was asked about it this week, and he said, we are evaluating everything. If I had to call it right now, who is going to be the starting quarterback for the Colts Sunday Night Football? I think it's going to be Joe Flacco. I fully expect Flacco to start, and I think this would be a good move for Indianapolis as, I just think he just runs the offense better at this point. Like, yes, they want to develop Richardson, but they also need to go get a win. And especially with this AFC wildcard race, like, there are about 7 teams in the AFC that only have 2 wins. The Colts are right in the thick of things, and I think they almost want to do a service to the other players on this roster and give them the best chance to win. And I think the old man, the elite quarterback, Joe Flacco, might be the best way to do so. But the Colts offensively this year, this is how they rank out. Yards per game, 304. They're 17th. Pass yards, 198, 21st. Rush yards, they are a very, very good rushing offense. They have a very, very good offensive line, hence why they ranked 11th in the league. But, hey, points per game, 21.9 and third down percentage. You guys see that at the bottom of your screen. So I think it's going to be Flacco out there, and I just showed you guys Richardson's stats. Flacco's been a whole lot better. 65.7% completion percentage, 715 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception this season. They got all types of playmakers like Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Adonai Mitchell. Like, they got guys that will go make plays for Joe Flacco, and I think he does a better job of just distributing the football. But also, I think the Colts defense, I don't want to call them underrated, but I think if you just looked at the stats, you would say, oh, this is a terrible defense. And I kind of disagree with that. I mean, yards per game, they're giving up 394 per night, 29th in the NFL. Pass yards, 24th. Rush yards per game. This is really where the Vikings should be dominant in this matchup. And points per game, they're giving up 21.5. Now, I definitely do think the Colts, they got studs defensively. You got guys like DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore, and the whole crew over there. But really, the Colts, like, their calling card is their blue chippers. Like, Groover Street, he's a hell of a defensive tackle. DeForest Buckner, he missed some time this year, but he came back and he was fantastic fantastic in his return. Kenny Moore, one of the better coverage corners in the National Football League. Zaire Franklin, one of the best tackling linebackers, great in run fits this entire season. They got dudes, and then also offensively, they got dudes as well. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Quentin Nelson, one of the best guards. Will Fries, who I'm not showing right now, he's another great guard. But Brandon Smith, great right tackle. Ryan Kelly, he's a great center. Jonathan Taylor, he can make stuff happen out of the backfield. And also Michael Pittman Jr., one of the most underrated guys in the National Football League. But watch out for this, because I think everybody's going to look at the spread and see Vikings are favored by 6.5. They should blow out the Colts. The Colts are coming in here with a 4-4 record. The Vikings should be the better football team. However, they have lost all 4 of their games this season by a combined 14 points. This is a way better football team than the record indicates. And if they got Flacco starting, I think this could be a dicey spot for the Vikes, but I still think they're going to win. I'll explain my thoughts here in a second, but quickly, want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Who you got? Sunday Night Football, give me a V for the Vikings, or give me a C for the Colts. If you're a Colts fan, explain your thoughts why you think you guys are going to head in the U.S. Bank and get a victory. But you guys let me know who you got in this Sunday Night Football matchup. Now, we'll dive in the keys to victory and go over some injury news here in a second. But first off, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app today and sign up at prizepicks.com/CONS and plug in promo code CONS, you guys will get $50 instantly when you play just $5. Best part is you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. But what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. All you do, you pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game on PrizePicks all season long. So, guys, check them out. Download the app today. Plug in promo code CONS, and you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. So, the number one key to victory for the Vikings this weekend, and I think the biggest key to victory for the rest of the season, is to add a quick passing game. And this has been my biggest gripe. This has been my biggest concern with Kevin O'Connell is his inability to add this to the lineup. And especially when you have weapons on the outside like Jefferson and Addison. I think a great example is how Rams head coach Sean McVay used Cooper Kupp, used Puka Nacua. He was just getting the ball out quick. They were getting a ton of yak. That's the one thing I want to see the Vikings implement. And now with T.J. Hockenson possibly coming back, or he will be back this weekend, you can throw him, 3-4 yard hitches as a different type of run game. Just keeps you ahead of the sticks, get positive plays on first and second down, where instead it's not just a handoff up the middle or you're trying to take a deep shot. And you also got a guy like Jalen Naylor. Like, why not throw him a screen? Why not throw him a jet pass? Like, you can do multiple ways to get these playmakers the ball, because where are the Vikings' advantages every single week? It's on the outsides with these receivers, and I felt like Kevin O'Connell over the past couple weeks has almost been too sturdy on the run game and just honestly too stubborn to get away from it. So get the ball out quick, add a quick passing game. You got Hawk back this week, so it should end up changing it. But, number 2, I'll say this every week, and it always matters with the Minnesota Vikings. Win the turnover battle. Now, we unfortunately had some bad news. My favorite chat stats that we show every single week on our previews. The Vikings are now 22-2 when they win or tie the turnover battle under Kevin O'Connell. They actually won the turnover battle last week, found their first loss when they do win that. So hopefully they bounce back, win the turnover battle, and really dominate this football team. But also, I think they need to dominate in the trenches. If you're able to get a solid run game, if you're able to take away Jonathan Taylor, and if it is Flacco, you let Flacco beat you, I think the Vikings got a good chance. But they've struggled to run the ball this year. Like, they're only averaging 4.2 yards per clip. They've only had 3 yards eclipse 20-plus yards or 3 runs eclipse 20-plus yards. They've had 85 carries, 780 yards, and the longest run of the season is 39 yards. You are not a good running football team. Play into your advantages, play into your strengths, and that's Jefferson, Addison. You could even split Aaron Jones out wide, get him in the flat, have him try to make a dude miss, and that can be kind of your makeshift run game in a game against a team that will take away the run. Like, the Colts are good enough to do that. So, got to dominate the trenches this weekend. And number 4 for me, KOC, let's just have a masterclass out of you. Let's go hang 34. Let's go hang 38. Let's go hang 40-plus on a pretty damn good Colts defense, and he needs to have his moment. It's going to be all eyes on you Sunday Night Football. The Bears, Packers, and Lions are all going to play early on in the day, and if they all get wins, Bears go to 5 wins, Packers go to 7, or I guess Packers and Lions play each other that game, but you got a chance to get back in the 2nd seed in the NFC, in your division, and KOC, I'm putting pressure on them. I need to see a very, very good game from them, but if they do that, I think the Vikings will win. Like Kevin O'Connell, he's going to adjust. I don't think he is going to be set in his ways. I think he's going to understand with no Darisaw, maybe we can't have these long developing plays that have kind of been his MO. He's going to have to change it, add a short, quick game, add something to just get this offense going and just get in a little bit more of the rhythm there. But I also think the Vikes, you got to be a hungry football team. You got to play with some sense of urgency this weekend because the NFC North, it is a gauntlet. And, this past 2 weeks, they went 4-1 besides the Minnesota Vikings, and they're in 3rd right now. And if you want to catch the Packers, if you want to catch the Lions, yes, you already have a win over Green Bay, which is huge. But, it's going to be a tough matchup when they come to U.S. Bank Stadium. And with the Vikings schedule right now, you should be able to rip off multiple wins in a row. Like, I expect the Vikings to win this weekend. You should go to Jacksonville and beat the Jags. You should go to Tennessee and beat the Titans. And honestly, I expect them to beat the Bears. And then you got Cardinals and Falcons at home. You should win both those, but at least it should be a split. In this stretch over the next 6 games for the Vikings, Colts, and these 5 teams right here, I expect Minnesota to go 4-2 at worst, 6-0 at best, probably end up going 5-1. But if you go 5-1, you're going to be 10-3 heading into Week 16 in Seattle. You get a win there, you're 11-3, and then you have the Bears again at home. You should win that. Then bam, you're 12-3 with the Packers and Lions end out the year. You just split those games. You're 13-4, 14-3 season. This is still a very exciting time to be a Vikings fans. And, we'll end up today's show closing it like this. Free 3. I want Addison to get the football a whole lot. So if you guys give me a free 3 down below in the comment section, I'll give you a shout out on our video that's going out tomorrow, and I'll show you guys some love down there. So type free 3 if you guys watch this entire thing. Also, I'm on Twitter at Pat Sieps. Give me a follow over there. See you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.